Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I'm Mark Silverman.
I'm Tony Bonnici, and we're going to go on a journey together this afternoon and evening.
So I really want to thank you for joining us. I'm just thrilled to share my friend Tony Bonnici with you because of all that I've learned with him going on the journey for the past 2.5 years, and especially for the last year. Now, for me, the reason for this webinar, for going to Hawaii on the Limitless Success Adventure, and my partnership with Tony, is what I've discovered is that most of my clients are running on those fears that I used to run. They're caught up in I hate to call it the rat race, but they're caught up in that spinning wheel that they can't seem to let go of. They want something different, but they can't figure it out. They don't want to come from that fear or the uncomfortable motivations that they used to come from. And what I found in working with Tony over the past year, and we're going to go into it, is another way of being, another place to come from. So I can't wait for him to share his teachings with you that I've implemented in my life. So Tony, I'm going to pass it over to you, and let's start talking about what you and I have learned about being businessmen and how to move forward.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. So the first thing that I want to introduce, or it may not be something new for any of you, that to introduce the gut instinct, or in Hawaiian they call it the na'au, and in Japanese they call it the hara. But this place inside yourself that is that little voice that may maybe be speaking to you, that is very subtle, but yet continually is there in your life, that doesn't go away. And some people say that they can hear the calling from it. I know as a young boy that I started to experience what that gut instinct was like for me when I was like riding a skateboard down the street, and I'd hit a rock, and instead of falling flat on my face, that I could actually instinctively roll and not actually splat, but do a roll and land on my butt. And so there was something that was letting me know how to react faster than my thinking. And so that was the first beginning in for me, the exploration of what that gut instinct meant for me. And as I became an entrepreneur, I got to see the first part of being an entrepreneur when I started working with my coach, was I noticed that I would ignore that voice. And one of the most distinctive areas that I noticed it is when I started hiring employees. I would receive hundreds and hundreds of resumes that would look amazing. And I would do interviews and really talk to a lot of people. And I would read a resume and be talking to somebody, and there would be something inside of me that felt off, that it wasn't supposed to hire this person, but on paper it looked really good. And I distinctively remember hiring one of my business managers, where I heard that little voice and I overrode it, and I said, I'm hiring them. And as I started to develop the relationship, I actually was being embezzled and lost a lot of money by not listening to that voice. There was something inside that was telling me that something was off with this person. So by not listening to the voice, I actually got to see how the voice actually, that gut instinct, or I'm going to use the word na'au for now on, since we're coming to a Hawaiian adventure, of this place inside myself that is a very quiet and whispering voice that lets me know and guides me on the direction that I'm supposed to go. And I always have a choice to either follow it or to take a different direction. And the practice of constantly being in relationship with what my thinking mind, and then also the na'au, or the gut instinct. So the area of the na'au. That's what I want to bring to really to the Limitless Success Adventure and to everybody on this call today, to really have a name for it and an experience of what it's like to be in relationship with the na'au.
Hmm. That's so beautiful. So my experience with what Tony's talking about is that there are a lot of paths to get to hear that whisper. I wrote a book about setting boundaries, about looking for the fears that motivate me. Am I doing things because I'm afraid to do something, or because I'm afraid not to do something? Do I have a should embedded here that I'm supposed to be doing this even though I don't want to? And that experiment for me of culling off other people's agendas and really finding out what that still small voice was for me has been my journey. It's, there's a million paths to quieting all the things around you so you can hear this voice. And we're gonna take on this journey one particular path.
So this next piece that we're going to go into is an experiential piece. So I want to invite you to sit up in your chair or wherever you're at and make yourself comfortable, so maybe that you can feel your sit bones and wiggle your bottom around and look at your posture. Are you slouched? Are you sitting up straight? And really just feel what it's like to move your body. And in this process of getting in touch with your gut instinct or your na'au is this process that I like to call pouring the water. And when you pour the water, I like you to visualize a vase that comes down right below your belly button. So the vase comes down and then makes a big circle, and it's right at the base of your belly button. And your breath is, the visualization is like it's water. So you're pouring water down to the bottom of the vase, and you fill it up from the bottom up. And a good way to make sure that you're breathing down into the bottom of your belly is to put your hand right below your belly button. And then, so when you take a breath, breathe in through your nose as if you were pouring water down into that bottom of that vase, and fill it up with water from the bottom up, and you'll feel your hand expand out and then relax your breath so that it then contracts. There's no forcing, there's no pushing. It's very natural to pour the water as you take a breath. As I'm talking, be aware of what your breath is doing right now. Are you breathing up from your chest and taking these big chest breath, or are you able to breathe down where my breath is really down in my belly and my chest is barely moving? Now the neat thing about this pouring the water is that this is the way that every single person came into this world, and were breathing from the na'au as an infant. As soon as you came into the world, then you were breathing from your na'au. And as you start to develop your thinking and start to get judgments, what works and what doesn't work, your breath starts to come back up into your chest, and your mind starts to say, well, you only need to just breathe a little bit down into your belly or even up into your chest to survive, so you really don't have to breathe down there anymore. And this is what really will serve you, and you don't need your na'au anymore. Let's let the ego do the running, or your mind really develop and run the show. So continue breathing into your na'au as I'm speaking of this, and you'll see, maybe you might start thinking about, what is he talking about? And it'll take you away from your breath, and return back to your breath. and follow it all the way down and fill it up from the bottom up. As you go away from this call, that to continually practice this when you're driving in the car, when you're talking on the phone, even before you go to bed and when you wake up, that you can really, it's just like a muscle that you can train and develop, that it operates even more than operating from your ego or your thinking. So to continually practice at a daily basis, my father always said daily life practice. And for me, that is what it is a continual practice of the relationship between my na'au and my thinking.
Tony, this is too fun. This is too fun. I want to disrupt this.
Okay.
I don't like all this peace and quiet. So I'm taking over the call. So now that you were nice and relaxed by what Tony was doing, let's have some fun.
We'll stay with your breath though at the same time.
No, God, they're gonna try, but they're not gonna be able to. So while Tony's trying to get you to be relaxed, I'm your boss. I'm your kid. I'm your significant other. Whatever your trigger is, I want you, I can't see everybody on the call, but if you're there, I want you to take some time and really think of a moment, maybe today, maybe yesterday, it happened this week, I'm sure of it, that really riled you, that knocked you off the beam, that knocked you off your game. Someone pissed you off. Someone scared you. Someone threatened your livelihood, or you made up that they're threatening your livelihood. That's a big one for me. Really get in touch with a stressful situation. I want you to take a moment. I want you to feel the feelings. I want you to have the thoughts, those outlandish thoughts, the ones where I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to live under a bridge. I don't know if I'm the only one who has those. I want you to feel the constriction in your chest. I want you to feel how tight you can get when something is threatening, whether it be your boss, whether it be your significant other, whether it be the television set saying something that you don't want to hear or that scares you. And I want you to feel how tight you are. This is how we go around life. We walk around the office, we walk into somebody's office, and they throw us a curveball. We go home, and our kid, my kid, took the car where he wasn't supposed to go. And I want to react. The question is, do we want to react from there? And for me, I know I don't make the best decisions, I don't have the best conversations, and I don't have the best outcomes from here. So as you're feeling all that in your body, and now that I really kind of disrupted the zen that Tony has brought you at.
Yeah, I'm going to take this right back from you, Mark, and
there you go.
I'm going to invite you as you're breathing into your na'au to close your eyes and go back to that place of that calm, that centered for whatever it is for you, that you really pay attention to the breath and let go of the experience of those areas of your boss, your relationships, your kids, and find that calm place in your body. And start to really recognize how that starts to settle down as you really start to focus on your na'au and that area in your body that really can bring that energy down from high stressors, tight constriction, to calm, relaxed, a loose belly where it really is opening up and out and then relaxing in on the out breath. And just be with that for a moment. And stay with that sensation and slowly open your eyes and have visual again as you're still paying attention to your breath and breathing into your na'au. Follow your breath. Pour the water as you You can see what's going on in this webinar. You'll watch what's happening in your mind, but stay with your breath. And as we move forward in our discussion right now, to really pay attention to, as people are talking or you're hearing us talk, that you can constantly come back to this place in your body, and watch if you get caught up in thoughts. Are you now thinking of dinner or bed or what's going to happen next? Can you really stay in that place in your body? So pay attention to it as we move forward.
Thank you, Tony. So for me, sometimes the thoughts don't go away and the feelings don't go away, but I get a little separation. And as I breathe from my belly, I'm able to have a conversation even though I'm a little riled up inside. I'm able to pay attention and stay present even if the thoughts are going, I want dinner, or it's time for bed. So as we have a discussion, keep noticing how you separate from the thoughts and the feelings and the judgments and what happens. So this becomes we want to anchor this in to become the new normal.